afternoon, good evening. How is everybody? Welcome to another episode of Roll Around Find Out. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about micro RPGs. I've talked about similar, really small rules light systems. Did a whole episode on my Dragon Fighter business card role-playing game, and kind of just dipping back into that well of, hey, you've got an idea, maybe it's a setting, maybe it's a system, and you want the challenge, you want the constraint of, okay, I've got one, two, few resources to get the point across. With my Dragon Fighter business card, the theme of it was Nintendo 8-bit Nintendo Dragon Warrior game. And it's interesting how the space that you constrain yourself to, how can you get the point across? How can you get the vibe of the system to match the vibe of the aesthetics, the gameplay, the feel that you're going for? So here's one that I'm working on. Give you just a little kind of time distortion behind the scenes thing here. This is a pocket mod that I'm working on, which, let me pull up a picture if I can. My computer is choosing to run slow the second I start recording. But a pocket mod, oh, here we go, is taking one piece of paper and folding it in a way that you have 8 pages of information. It turns it into a little mini book, I call it. And so this picture here, if you are watching the video portion of it, shows you exactly what it is. And I like this. I like the pocket mod setup. It gives you 8 distinct areas to put different content. And it's like you're getting, for me, like the Mothership Zine setup, but even more rules light. Hence the term micro RPG. So, let me pull up this folder here. I have 8 pages that I've made. I made them on Google Docs and then saved them to a PDF individually. There's a website that will compile this, and if I remember, I'll link it in the description. Probably hard to see here, but let's see if I can make this work. I've got the right page, so let me load up the left page. And in my advanced toils and troubles here, the front cover is what you're looking at. Pairs really nicely with the back cover when it chooses to load here. And the pocket mod is like a normal zine. However, if you open it up and lay it flat, the front cover and back cover, here we go, work very well together to make your entire character sheet. We've got strength, dexterity, know, which is knowledge, aware, and magic. Knowledge is book smarts, aware is street smarts, magic is magic, dex is dex, strength is strength. Okay? And I won't go through major details on here. The point that I just want to get across is, hey, how can we get a lot of information into this micro RPG setting? And my Dragon Fighter one, available on DriveThruRPG, pay what you want. I think I did a good job. I have It's 2 business cards. One is for players, one is for game masters. I did another one, and I believe it's called Micro D100. And feel free to go check it out. It's free. However, I put too much information in too tiny of a spot. And I think if you were to actually play it, the font is too small and the scope too broad. So, in my evolution of becoming a game designer of sorts, going through here is what would be the inside cover. You pick your race and you pick your class. And your race gives you an advantage and a disadvantage on your rolls. So the goblin here, if I zoom in, you get to roll advantage on your dexterity rolls. Roll 3 dice, pick the 2 highest numbers. Disadvantage, roll 3 dice, take the lowest 2 numbers. You get, that's for a race. For your class, you get a straight up bonus to your lowest dice. So if you are a ranger, you get +1 on your awareness rolls. Whatever your lowest dice number is, you just add 1 to it. Okay? And when you then turn the page again, you will be given the rules of the game. When you face a risky situation, you roll 2d6. If you are advantaged, if you have advantage, like the goblin has advantage in dexterity rolls, if it's a dexterity check, then you roll 3 and keep the 2 highest dice. If you are, excuse me, if you are at disadvantage, goblins are disadvantaged in their knowledge rolls. Then you roll 3d6 and keep the 2 lowest numbers. I forget the system that I just recently read that in, but I loved it. I think it was a Castlevania style game. If I can find that, I'll link that in the description as well. But this was cool. I had mentioned that I like the constraint. I like the micro RPG. It's like, how can you get a lot of bang for your buck? And I may have shown this before. I'm going to go off on a tangent here. It's just what I do. I really want to not necessarily even sell this, but I think this is super cute. Small tin box. I want to make... Yeah, here we go. I want to make a game that fits in a little tin like this. The little pocket mod folds it all up, 8 pages. Got 8 pages of content in this little tin, a little golf pencil, and 3d6. And literally in your pocket, in this tiny little tin storage box, you've got an entire game. If you're the game master, throw in a pocket mod with an adventure. 8 pages gives you tons of unique things. One could be for the unique monsters. One could be for the town. 1 or 2 of them could be for the town. 1 or 2 could be for the dungeon. And man, I know I'm a nerd. It just really appeals to me. This I might end up buying. Maybe I should compete with them. If I get lucky here, I'm going to Pocket Mod RPG. Yeah, Tiny Dungeons. 30, I think I might have mentioned this. Oh, what is this? Pocket Tabletop Gaming Kit. Okay, well, I'm going to check that out because that's only $20. Heck yeah. Campaign case. Okay, well, this is the addiction and how it starts. Travel board game. Oh my god. Okay, but this guy, Tiny Dungeon, Archmage Erispin, is spiritually who I want to be. They have nailed the aesthetics of this. Look how freaking cute this is. $33.56 seems insane to me though for price. But I don't know the logistics of it. I'm sure shipping it alone is $7-8 depending on where it's going. Custom pencils probably not cheap. The reviews on it are, look at this is delightful. So pleased with it. I forget the rule set, and not sure if they give you pre-made characters, they give you a map. Like, look at all that. This is just, it's great. It's great. It's great. It's great. I think I did some research, or at least in one of the comments here, they talk about what the rule set is. Oh, Tiny Dungeons. Purchased. Is that what this is called? Tiny Dungeons? I thought it was Tiny Dungeons. Tiny Dungeons. Oh, melt my heart. Okay, so this is like the aesthetic that I'm going for. I love it. All right, tangent over. Let me get back to where I was. Okay, yeah, so the micro aspect of it, this guy, let me go back, just nailed it. Just absolutely stuck the landing on the aesthetic. You get a map, you get pre-made characters, 2d6 fits in this cute little, and it's Tiny Dungeons. Awesome. Okay, so I'm jealous. I'm jealous. So bang for your buck here. 3d6. I love the advantage. Take 2 highest, take 2 lowest. However, those, just because you're rolling more dice if you're advantaged and highest and lowest, it just increases your chances of success but doesn't guarantee success, because what determines it is the GM picks a difficulty number. If whatever dice you roll, if they're both under the difficulty number, you fail. If one is over, one is under, you succeed with a complication. So you're in combat, you are an archer, you rolled a hit, and one is high, one is low. So one dice is high, one dice is low. We'll say that you hit, but the complication is bowstring snapped or came loose, or you dropped your arrows. The enemy, another enemy saw you, and now you're the target for the next round of combat, something like that. So, bang for your buck, you're rolling a lot of dice, and then those dice, I mean, I guess I'm just explaining like basic TTRPG mechanics here, but you're rolling 3 dice, then you got to figure out, is it the highest or the lowest? We got decisions we have to make. Then we are interpreting those numbers for the degree of success. And so some people would say, oh, that's overly complicated. If I want a rules light, give me 1d6, and then I just know that if it's higher than 2, I succeed. Hey, more power to you. That is a more simple, more streamlined way to play. Great. But it's not what I'm going for. The problem I have is I try to put too much into too little of a space. I know that about me. But, okay. Combat, damage, Omega Fantasy 2. I talk about it probably every episode. I know. Go check it out. Go listen to that episode. I think that game is perfect. I really took from there that your weapon determines your criticals. Not your class, not your race. The weapon you have in your hand determines how you critical. Love it. Okay, how magic works. Low magic, high magic, elite magic. Kind of like along the ley lines, kind of like it. With the reaction and how you can power up your spells. Probably actually more so like D&D 5th edition, where you can cast a first level spell using a second level spell slot. You can spend more magic to uh, up the impact of the spell. So, you know what? You know what? No, 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 no. I'm working on two different things at the same time. Scratch that. This is just like basic level spells. They use one magic point. Mid level, I call it high magic here. Uses 3 magic points. And then elite magic, these are the more powerful spells that use 6 magic points. Got it confused with something else I'm working on. Sorry. All right. Items. Bestiary. All right. I'm going to just read this word for word. Where I'm at now with my experience as a game master, I don't need things written out for me. I have broken free from the need to follow exactly what's written on the page. And I think that's something that is really important for all game masters. Feel the table. Don't read the table. If that makes sense. More appropriately would be feel the table, don't read the books. All right. And I'm going to show you this micro RPG. It's going to change your life. All right. So, bestiaries. I've got roll to hit. What do you have to roll to hit them? Your the enemies HP, this is low level. They don't have any abilities. An example, a bat, a rat, and a snake. Right? The more difficult the monster is, the higher you have to roll to hit them. The more HP they have, the more magic they have. And that's kind of how these work. Your characters level up, which gives player the illusion that they're more powerful, which they are, but their surroundings level up with them. And so it's kind of like equal footing all the way through the entire experience. Okay, but this little blurb in here. 1 crit, feel free to track hit enemy hit points, damage they deal, etc. Or, I don't know why this 1 crit is here. Feel free to track hit. Oh my god. Let's go back. Heath needs to go back and redo this. Feel free to track enemy hit points, damage they deal, etc. Or just feel the combat. Do you want your players to just have an encounter? Then let each player get hit 1 or 2 times. Do you want them to fear for their lives? Hit them more, or bring them close to death in just a few hits. Don't be such a stickler for the words written on these pages. Listen to what Gus has to say on the matter. And here's Gus. Hello and welcome to Advanced Toils and Troubles. This game assumes some GM experience. The rule of cool is number 1. Let your players be challenged. Let them play the character they want to play. And most importantly, work together to create an amazing experience. Talked about it before. I had a student join my D&D club. And I said, okay, using my easy made-up roleplay system, has a version 2.0 now. He said, I want to be bread. Like literally a sentient loaf of bread. I can't say no. No, I'm sorry. You need to be a half-elf ranger. Like, no. You're bread, and then we'll figure out later like what that all means. So with some GM experience, I have been drawn to these micro RPGs, rules light, micro light. Give me the feel. What is the main? What are you trying to get across here? And for me, it's the 3d6 and the criticals. If you have a heavy melee weapon, melee, it's late. I always record these too late. Then you get extra damage. Maybe you hit all enemies nearby. I feel like when you are playing D&D and you roll that 20, that is like a moment. That is your moment. And maybe, it's just double damage. And you deal extra damage and the monster is still up and kicking. And that's fine. It's still exciting because you had a really big, powerful hit. But when you critical, you should impact the board, the combat somehow. Something should change in the player's favor. Not necessarily like from losing to winning, but oh yeah, I see what's going to happen next. If it's the double damage, then like, oh, okay, well, maybe the you're fighting the main boss, and you wouldn't want to do this obviously early on, but it's like, oh, okay, I critical them, I dealt double damage, then something should change. Fourth edition would say like bloodied, where we're going to transition to the next phase of the bad guy. He's now really mad, he's really hurt, he called in reinforcements, he's powered himself up. We've changed the combat. Critical should have that sort of impact. So that's the flavor that I'm trying to go for here. All right. Then I have an adventure generator and an NPC generator. So this is mostly for players, but the second to last page, because the last page is part of the character sheet, what more do you need? You've got an adventure and NPCs to fill up the adventure. The adventure is the setting, the mission, and the antagonist. So let me just say like 1, 2, 3. Okay, we are in an ancient ruins. There's a monster on the loose, and the antagonist is a corrupt noble. Right? There's a king, and he had a pet dragon. Dragon got loose. Now he's loose in the ancient ruins, and maybe the ancient ruins are a holy site. Right? Sure. Is it, or I should say, is it the most intense story you've ever read in your entire life? Most descriptive story? Absolutely not. However, it's not, or doesn't need to be, the GM's job to give the full background story. If the players are engaged and they're wanting to play the game, then they know, okay, here's our problem. Let's go solve it. Okay? And based on how the players react, the GM rolls with it, and we've got the sandbox theory, right? You're not dictating what they do, you're just presenting information in front of them, and they get to choose how they want to do it. All right, I know I'm preaching to the choir. Okay, so this is close to being done. I'm having issues. If you're watching this, the aspect ratio is bothering me. When I resize these, I have these, it's almost like a Blu-ray, when you watch a Blu-ray or a widescreen movie. I have these black bars on the top and bottom, and I print it out, and it's like shrunk in the middle. I need to expand these out. So just things I'm working on. Okay. The theme is micro RPGs for the episode, right? I'm going to show you this one. Tinny Dungeons. I'm excited to check out the other ones that are here. All right, too many tabs. All right, where is it? Nope. We're getting close though. Here we go. Here we go. Stagwood. This comes from Itch Stagwood, the world's simplest TTRPG. Now, when I click on this, it's going to give it away, but that's okay. Unleash your imagination with Stagwood Micro, the world's simplest TTRPG. The game is so compact it fits on one side of a business card, yet packs endless adventures and epic tales in its tiny format. Perfect for minimalist gamers and those on the go. Stagwood Micro delivers big fun in a small package. Look at this artwork. We got a werewolf. We got some kind of weird skeleton zombie thing. Wild. Okay? Now, I wish I could block off part of this screen. Maybe I can. All right. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm going to skip it. All right. Maybe you saw it, but here we go. Why Stagwood Micro? Portable perfection. Take your adventure anywhere. Slip it in your wallet or pocket and be ready to play anytime, anywhere. Easy to learn. No complex rules or massive books. Dive into the action instantly with straightforward mechanics. Endless creativity. Despite its size, Stagwood Micro offers limitless storytelling possibilities. Create, explore, and conquer in any setting you can imagine. Oh my god, this sounds like, yeah, it fits in a business, one side of a business card. Endless possibilities, any setting. How is this possible? Join the revolution of micro gaming and discover how something so small can inspire adventures so grand. Grab your copy of Stagwood Micro today and let the epic journey begin. Come on, you should be searching this up right now. Download it. Okay, now, I build this show as family friendly. Okay? Gotta spoil this a little bit. What I'm about to show you might not be suitable for young ears. I might have to check the box when I upload this to Spotify that it contains explicit language. All right? I've downloaded it. I could show you the little picture, but I'm going to go right. Okay, yeah, here we go. I'm trying to build up the suspense here. Here is the main cover of Stagwood Micro, the world's simplest TTRPG. Right? At Stagwood Inc. Are you ready for the rules? Are you ready for the micro RPG awesomeness? Well, here we go. Make shit up. That's it. That's the other side of the business card. Yes. Amazing. You read all this and you get yeah. Tell me everything. This is the answer to the universe, right? It can do it all. Well, in those 3 words, it sure can, because that's what it's all about. Sure, you can read hundreds of pages. Yes, you can say, well, actually, a zombie has 13 hit points. And I did that when I ran my very, very first campaign with students. Lost mine of Phandelver. I didn't know, and I'm just, I'm letting enemies last that still have 1 hit point. Nothing wrong with that either. There's nothing wrong with having the structured system of, hey, you should know that a zombie does 1d6 of damage. Or you play that it has, I forget the term, you can roll for damage, or you can take like the average damage. You can say, well, this zombie does 3 hit points. Or you can do what Stagwood says. You can make it up and you can say, you know what? This zombie has been around a little longer. This zombie is a former knight. This zombie is a little child. This zombie, whatever, add different flavor to them, and maybe they deal less damage, but they're quicker. Maybe they deal more damage and can wield. They deal more damage because they can wield a weapon. Maybe they can't wield it, but just the way it works is that there's like a knife impaled through their hand and they're slashing around. Maybe one's on fire, right? And so may not be in the book, but do what the rules say, make it up. Trust me, your table will be improved for it. Okay. Now, this is the ultimate example of a micro RPG. It is 3 words. However, there are other things out there that you can be inspired by. In my itch.io search and even DriveThruRPG and Googling, if you search micro RPGs, the gamut is out there. Business cards, pocket mods, one-pagers. There's no hard and fast rule to what makes a micro RPG. This is one that popped up that I thought was just unique. It's called Meddlesome Kids, and I'll read this. In this game, you and your group of friends play as a gang of teen detectives traveling the country solving mysteries in each new town you encounter. If you haven't gotten the hint by now, the theme that they're going for is Scooby-Doo. Pair up with your mystery maker to solve the mystery of the town. Prepare to search for clues, interrogate suspects, and trap the monster who's been terrorizing the town. We've got 1, 2, 3 pages. Let me actually download it here. Oh, before I do, look at. I said this is not. I didn't even read this before. But this, it's funny how you can get so much with so little. First comment here, Axel K. This is great. I love the vibes. Sure, Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition gives you vibes. It gives you, hey, we're in a high fantasy world. Someone's going to fight me on that term. Don't care. But there's dwarves, there's elves. You get a sense of the setting. But minimal art, minimal rules. I read 1, 2, 3 sentences, and you could tell it's Scooby-Doo. You can taste the flavor with just so little information. For me, that's the appeal that these micro RPGs give. All right. I haven't even really looked at this. This is my first time downloading it. 4 pages. What's the 4th page? Oh, more? Oh my god. Yes. Make your own adventures right here. Oh, I love it. I might have to steal that and change it for my clubs. In my easy made up role playing game. Oh, no. I also did an episode on a plot, a problem, and something else. I changed the name on it, but it was the Mad Libs episode, and I changed that a lot too. I'll have to talk about that someday. Okay, so here we go. Meddlesome Kids, 4 pages, and we've got roles, backgrounds. Think of this as character creation. We've got the mystery maker. We've got more roles, player items, helping. All right, let's just go over it. 4 pages. We got a game here in 4 pages. Welcome, teen detective. You and your fellow detectives travel around the world solving mysteries. Your group's goal is to find the reason behind the weirdness and reveal the truth. There are 4 roles: the leader, people's person, the brain, the skill monkey, talking animal sidekick, come on, celebrity guest. Love it. And very much so, at least I think, like my advanced toils and trouble, when we go to race and class, they give you certain advantages. We've got, I lost the page. Here we go. If you are the leader, you have advantage on traps like lockpicking and knot tying. Isn't that Fred? The people's person, advantage on conversation, lying, persuasion. Shaggy. Brain, advantage on book smarts, history, and science. That is, oh, what are their names? Velma and, oh, embarrassing. Scooby Doo characters. Daphne. Okay. Somebody was just yelling so loud. Brain is Velma. Skill Monkey is Daphne. If I remember correctly, she's super rich. And so she kind of spends her money and has all, at least in the movies, I think, she has all the gadgets and stuff. Talking animal sidekick, Scooby-Doo, obviously, and then celebrity guest. I think Casey Kasem was big on a lot of episodes, but they have an advantage on stunts for some reason. Flips and smoldering. What is that? All right. Don't need to go over all this because there's actually a lot of words here. This is like something I would have made. A lot of words in a little space. The final trap. Let's just go over that. No, okay, back it up. Catchphrase. Once in a game, you can shout your catchphrase to make a roll automatically succeed. Are you getting the flavor here? Okay, the final trap. Once the group feels like they have enough evidence, you can begin to set your trap. The order of setting the trap is the reverse of the order of rolls, so the celebrity guest goes first, ending on the leader. So I guess I must have missed that in the rules here. When it's your turn, describe your section of the trap, then roll to determine how successful it is. The more creative your section is, the more likely it will go off without a hitch. All right. What are we even rolling here? You will roll whenever you choose to act. Actions are things like relating to, investigating, sneaking, the villain's plan. 1 or 2. Okay, it must be D6. 1 or 2. The villain's plan advances. 3 or 4. You learn some information and the villain's plan advances a little. 5 or 6. You learn all of the information. Oh, we also have this clock going where the villain's plan is advancing. Okay. All right. Can we call this micro? Because there's a lot in here. Players' roles, players' quirks. Let's split up. If the gang decides to split up and there is no narrative logic for how to split the gang, have each player roll to determine who gets to decide pairings. The player with the highest roll gets the final say in how the groups are paired. In a tie, the player with the first roll gets final say. Interesting. Eris Wall. Well done, Eris Wall. Okay, let's go over this chart. We've got clue suggestions. Mayor, giant scissors, town hall key, mayoral sash, patrol key, cars, apron, grade book. I like this. As GM, these clues are so random. When something gets picked, you got to be able to tie it into the story. That's great. Motive suggestions: power, wealth, fame, dystopian or utopian will. Location name suggestions: Play World, North Park, Pine Hill Technical, Sierra Institute, Undergrove Estate, Twisted Oaks. Great. Corporation name: Star Corp, Phantasm Limited, Bumble Electronics. Oh yeah, I can't think of a specific Scooby-Doo reference, but it was like, oh yeah, it was Janitor Steve and his business, the firework company, wasn't making money because the new hotel closed down and people didn't have a place to stay and visit the fireworks show. That was the worst thing I could have thought of, but you got what you got. Okay. So, again, this was just through a quick search on itch.io for the term micro RPG. And 4 pages, awesome. As far as I see, there's not a character sheet. You just get your role, and you get your role, a quirk, and a catchphrase, and away you go. Oh, and a background. This is what happens when I'm just going off the cuff. Okay, now, next one and last one. This is something that I came across years ago. D&D 5th edition was like my number one. I had no idea what D&D was, what role-playing games were. Jumped into YouTube, and I just was a sponge, absorbing any and all content. After that was Mothership. Once I got a feel for how role-playing worked, Mothership came across my screen. I think it was itch.io or maybe DriveThruRPG. Saw it was free, fell in love with the aesthetics, D100 percentile, fell in love with that. But Mothership led me to the rules light genre, which kind of led me to OSR. And in that world, like researching what is rules light. Again, knowing nothing. I knew absolutely nothing. Reading forums, whatever. Eventually I was brought to, and I don't even know how you pronounce this, I say 2400. Maybe you would say it's 24XX. I'm not sure. But this is a very basic rules light, I would say micro RPG. Again, I don't know what the line is. Is micro RPG pocket mod? Is it one page, half page? I don't know. But you'll see there's not a lot going on here. And I bought some bundle many years ago. The art on these things are phenomenal. Again, just dripping with flavor, with just like a lot of bang for your buck is the appropriate phrase. And I struggled with this because, as we'll see, there are no hit points. Somewhere in some forum, I was like, how does that even work if you don't have hit points? And that's where like narrative-based role-playing games entered my vocabulary. And if you are a Powered by the Apocalypse fan, that's kind of the vibe I get with Powered by the Apocalypse, or PBTA. And I don't own anything Powered by the Apocalypse. I think the closest thing I had was Blades in the Dark. And I've said this multiple times. It's the only role-playing game I returned. I have sold Cyberpunk, the original, and Cyberpunk Red. Seemed overly complicated for me, and I thought, you know what? I like the cyberpunk genre, but I didn't get the feel that I wanted. I think Netrunner is what it's called. I didn't like that vibe. It just didn't work for me. What was another one? not RuneScape, but Mythras. I still have it, but that's one I'm looking to sell. I'm never gonna play it. 3 hours making a character, didn't even finish. No thanks. But Blades in the Dark, that's the only one I've ever returned. I didn't like the back in time system of, oh, you got caught, or maybe I'm misremembering it, but like you go on your mission, you're to go steal something, and then you describe how you pre-planned it. I'm sure I'm doing a terrible job explaining this, but let's say you're trying to hack a safe, okay? And so you sneak into the bank and you're hacking the safe, and then another security guard pops up and you get caught. From what I remember, it was like, okay, well, back it up. We did the research that we said there was only going to be one security guard. So who messed up and why is there a second security guard? And for me, didn't really work. However, I did like the process of talking and describing the situation, which I think, again, narrative based is what Powered by the Apocalypse and how that excuse me, kind of works, and that's the shtick of it. Okay, 2400 SRD, System Reference Document. Look at this art. Just, it speaks to me. Okay, rules. Here we go. Players describe what their characters do. The GM advises when their action is impossible, demands a cost or extra steps, or presents a risk. Players can revise plans before committing so as to change goal/stakes. Only roll to avoid risk. What do I want to say? I have done it. I like roll to open a door. Okay, well, you rolled low, so like the hinges squeaked. Well, I've evolved, and I want a player to tell me how do they open the door. I softly open the door. Okay, well then the door doesn't squeak. All right, well, like I open it normally. What are you talking about? It's just a door. Well, then it squeaks. Okay. Base mechanic is a D6. They use step dice. On a 1 to 2, disaster. Suffer the full risk. GM decides if you succeed at all. If risking death, you die. Okay. 3 to 4 is a setback. A lesser consequence or partial success. If risking death, you're injured. And 5 or more success, the higher the roll, the better. So we'll talk about skills here. But you start at a D6, you can go down to a D4, but you can use D8, D10, D12, etc. All right. If success can't get you what you want, you make the shot, but it's bulletproof, you'll at least get useful information or set up an advantage later. This next little part here, I think a lot of us, if we don't explicitly play this way, it's how we play. Load. Carry as much as makes sense, but more than one bulky item may hinder you at times. Right? In my campaign, my 11-month campaign, I talk about it all the time. Bag of holding. Right? Here's your bag of holding. Now you don't need to track your weight. You just carry your inventory, whatever, doesn't matter. There are certainly times and places where inventory matters. I enjoy Knave, where it's very inventory heavy. Just a different style of play. But we're going to the rules light here. You just tell your player, no, you can't carry 4 bazookas, dummy. Okay. Skipping advancement here. Defense. This was something that I struggled with. Defense. Say how one of your items breaks to turn a hit into a brief hindrance. Broken gear is useless until repaired. So, what they mean is armor. Are you wearing armor? If you are and you get hit, describe how it how it breaks. Okay? Now, how is that a hindrance? How does that hinder your character? GM, describe characters in terms of behaviors, risks, obstacles, not skill dice. Lead the group in setting lines not to cross in play. Fast forward, pause, or rewind / redo pacing and safety. Move spotlight to give all time to shine. Test as needed for bad luck, running out of ammo, running into guards. Basic advice here. And those are the rules. Okay. Now I glossed over them, but we've got 1, 2, 3. Well, this is probably not a good judge of it, but half a page. There are the rules to the game. I'd say that's pretty micro. All right. We're going to read a little bit here, but we're going to circle back to where are the hit points. All right, characters. Choose your character's specialty. Face, skilled in reading people, or deception. Take an extensive disguise wardrobe. Okay, so you roll a d8. You have like leveled up, you get a bonus, things like that. Muscle, skilled in intimidation and either hand-to-hand or shooting. Take a sword, firearm, or cyberarm. Oh, this micro RPG also happens to be genreless. Cool. Skilled in telepathy, telekinesis, skilled in medicine or electronics, sneak, and tech. Right? Choose your character's origin. An alien, which, right, could be anything. An android or human. Choose or invent skills. Climbing, connections, deceptions, electronics, engines, explosives, hacking, hand-to-hand, intimidation, labor, persuasion, piloting, running, shooting, spacewalking, stealth, tracking. Characters who start with broader skills should start with fewer skills or with less useful skills. So they give you some guidance. Like you can't just say combat. I'm good at combat. All right, gear, armor, vest, breaks once for defense. Battle armor, break up to 3 times. Hard suit, bulky, break up to 3 times. Vacuum rated, and mag boots. All right, well, micro, what determines it breaks? If you are in, let's say, D&D and you get hit, okay, well, you are hit, sure, but what if the damage is only 1 damage? They rolled a hit, you're hit, and then when they roll damage, it's 1. Right? Again, from my perspective was coming from D&D, like, I need more concrete information. Now that I'm experienced, I can be the judge of it. Like, I'm thinking there's a game on here called Alt, or a campaign or story called Alt, and there's like a cybernetic monkey, and maybe he scratches your armor. Well, that's not enough to do damage to it or break it, but maybe if he scratches it a couple times, then we get a break, we get a little hole in the suit, something like that. This is where the narrative aspect can take over, because nowhere in D&D does it say, well, if you get a couple minor hits, then you start to lose, your armor starts to lose its integrity. But with GM experience and the narrative play, you can tie that in and you can make it more fit a situation specific to your table and the events that are happening. Cybernetics. I will say that even though this is genreless, this 2400 SRD is like cyberpunk futuristic, but it doesn't have to be. That's just kind of the vibe that it gives off. All right, let's see. Weapons, grenades, flashbang, smoke, EMP, pistol, rifle, shotgun, stun baton, trank gun. But there's no reason it can't be longsword, heavy sword, etc. Some equipment you get for your starships, and then more for making a character, their name, their demeanor. Here's the basic rules. Oh no, for a job, let's see. The premise. Explain the basics of the setting. If it's not made clear elsewhere, give a reason for the characters to stick together and hint at what they'll spend their time doing. Oh, yeah, this is great. I should go back and update my plot and a problem one because here we go. Roll d20 for a contact, client, rival, or target. So let's just pick, I don't know, 15. Rhino is the contact. He's thick-headed, big-hearted bodyguard. All right, and he will then divulge what the players are doing. What's the story? All right, so let's go back. This is 4 pages. First page is the cover, so we're down to 3. The rules fit on half a page. Character creation fits on more or less half a page. Once you've created your character, then we gear them up. That's half a page. Half a page to give them their name and their demeanor, which you can really just use for like NPCs. You don't need it for your actual character. And then more like GM tips, right? I would say this is pretty rules light, micro RPG. There is an expansion to the rules. Here's official 2400 emergency rules. This art is just love it. Very much 2001 Space Odyssey vibes. Jason Tokai, author of 2400, I do believe. All right. So some more rules. Notice I didn't mention hit points. Okay. In the SRD, hit points not mentioned. Now, let me actually go back. Maybe it's in the GM rules because I am notorious for just skimming and missing things. This SRD is very brief with the hope experienced RPG players will fill in the gaps confidently and RPG newcomers will be free of too many preconceived notions. Let me hit Control F and see if I can get health. Nothing. HP. Nothing. Life. Signs of life for the sensor. Hit. We have 2 instances of hit. Oh, no. I was like, white supremacy. Oh, wait. No bigotry. Okay, yeah. Perfect. Pro that. Health. Did I say health yet? Nothing. There's no mention of it. So let's go in the expanded rules. Okay. GM describes the situation. If they attempt the impossible, the GM says why and advises the player to try something else. If they face an unavoidable cost, the GM offers that option or multiple equally unappealing options. Facing risk. If you're hindered, like by an injury or the environment, replace the skill die with a d4 regardless of the character's usual skill. So you're in combat, you get hurt. Now your skill die goes down from a 6 or 8 or 10 down to a 4. It's kind of like hit points, kind of. Let's see. Setback, success, we've read that. How to do essentially like initiative. Let's see, items, defenses. A player can describe how an item breaks to suffer a momentary hindrance from a disaster or setback instead of a more serious consequence, like being knocked over instead of killed. This is the main purpose of armor, but any item can be broken as long as it can be described believably. Powered by the apocalypse narrative. So let's just say, for fantasy's sake, you block a thieves' blow with your sword, and okay, your sword now breaks. Your combat goes from a D8 to a D4. Right? You got to punch them with your fist. Great. There's no rule in D&D that says you can block with your sword that I know of. Let's do a search. Blades in the Dark. I was researching to see if I can find Blades in the Dark adjacent games that aren't Blades in the Dark. Okay, D&D, can I block with my sword? Blocking with weapons. Is there any rule or homebrew rule that lets you block attacks with your weapon, using it like a shield? The defense duelist feat allows you to add your proficiency bonus to AC for one attack as long as you're wielding a finesse weapon. Oh, yeah, okay, I guess that would be it. The dodge action is kind of like that. Honestly, the game doesn't really work on that level of detail. Here we go. If you're missed by an attack, you can narrate that you blocked it with your weapon. You can take the dodge action and give disadvantage to anyone attacking you, but of course, this takes a full action to do. So, here we go. There isn't a rule for it. And you know what? You don't need the rule. You can just narrate it. Right? It's a whole other world that opens up when you are comfortable enough. You should have base rules. I think starting with D&D is great. I think I won't say it's a must, but it's, by me, highly recommended. I learned so much from the hobby, and all the other content creators that are out there. Like, you can just absorb the information that they give you. Recovery, let's see. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Found it. Key differences from many RPGs. No, quote, hit points. One successful roll can eliminate an enemy. One disastrous roll can kill a player's character. 2400 can be a, quote, deadly game or not at all deadly. If the GM never says you risk death, a bad roll will never kill you. Let me go back to advanced toils and troubles. Critical weapon effects. What did I say? They should really impact the game. Narrate what happens. I don't have on here that you can choose your location, but if it's a critical moment in the combat, you roll critically. Why can't you do a headshot? Why can't you lop off a head? Why can't you hack an arm off? There's no rules for that, so narrate it. That is the appeal. I hope I'm getting that across. That is the appeal of these micro RPGs. Not always blow by blow. Zoom in or zoom out as needed. Taking out a tough opponent might be broken into multiple steps. You have to create an opening before you can subdue him or her. Or an entire battle might take one roll. Example, roll to rout the enemy at the risk of death. I don't know what rout means. Rout. Definition. I feel like it means kill, but a disorderly retreat of defeated troops, an assembly of people who have made a move towards committing an illegal act which would constitute an offense of riot, defeat and cause to retreat in disorder. Oh, well, there we go. Route.
Route.
Got it. Thanks, Googs. Disaster, not failure. A bad roll doesn't necessarily mean you fail, and never means nothing happens. The risk for hacking an airlock might not be it doesn't open, but alarms blare and stuff gets blown into space. Amazing. Okay, so let's go and explore this. Let's just go itch.io and search 2400. Might be on DriveThruRPG, but I know itch.io, I think they had some sort of like zine quest for 2400. There's tons and tons and tons of stuff. Here we go. $6. This is what I bought. This was the bundle that I bought years ago. Plug and play toolkit. Oh yeah, and you got all of these. I'm almost positive I printed all of these out. Actually, it looks to be more than I have. But the flavor on here, Cosmic Highway, Inner System Blues. This one's like definite cyberpunk. The art on this, I was like, oh yeah, look at this. This is when I had found Mothership, and then I was like, oh yeah, I gotta get in on this somehow for sure. There's the alt with the cybernetic monkey. There's one with dinosaurs somewhere. There's one that maybe I had to pay for it, and that's why I didn't get it. But there's like a definite fantasy one. It has like a dragon on the cover. B Team play second string heroes in this 2400. Must be hack. Let's try 2400 RPG fantasy. Is 2400 as open and awesome as it looks? I just picked up the bundle. The 2400 system is extremely lightweight. That's one of its strong suits. And yes, you only need Orbital Decay to run the game that he's talking about. However, I do find that the more 2400 games I read, the more enriching it is for all the other ones I've read. Dude, this guy is spot on. Because I guess I shouldn't say every, but I encourage you to go and look at other ones because they each have their own little micro rule set or adaptation that you can use in any 2400 that you want. It's so rules light, it's plug and play that you can piece together the system that you are wanting. Here we go. You also find a collection. All right, this looks to be like a lot more. Lo-fi dark fantasy like Conan. All right, let's check that one out. Definite cyberpunk. It's been a while since I've looked at these. I should download. I know I've got like a Ziploc bag filled with. Most of these are. I think they're zine size. I was gonna say, like trifold. Yeah, trifold pamphlet size. Bestiary for 2400. There's one in particular. I'm really just wasting your time. Let's see if I can get lucky. Fantasy. Kitten. Post-apocalyptic. A grim dark sword dream RPG. Well, let's check that out. This is where I'm just like, well, goodbye the next 5 hours of my life. It's already 1 a.m. Space fantasy. Fate and fantasy. I think that might be the one I'm looking for. I thought I had a dragon on it, but I must not. Rules light fantasy. Okay, yeah. So let's check this one out. 2400 off. Let's see. Choose a culture. Savages, nomads, urbanites, enlightened, decadents, degenerates. Choose a role. Fighter, thieves, cultist, wizard. Rangers. Oh my god, yeah. I really like your 2400 sword and sorcery adaptation. Could examples of the spells for wizards be included in the document, perhaps at the bottom? So they don't have spells. Let's check it out. All right, got a setting. Love it. Wizards, upgrade lore and deviltry. You know 2 spells, which are specific acts of deviltry. You may choose to learn a new spell instead of upgrading a skill. Names, effect, face, body, motive, locations, treasure, religion. All right, so it looks like good point. There are no spells. So work with your GM to find a spell that's appropriate. Great. I like this one a lot. I will be checking it out more. What do we got here? Roll for D20 4 times. Dagger, sword, axe, tort. Okay, that must be your starting gear. Strength, dexterity, willpower. All right, we've got stats. What are the says here? Designed to be easy to pick up and play, this one-page RPG contains everything you need to get started. Requires a set of D6s and D20. Okay, I don't care about the fascist. D20 randomized character generator, NPC generator. Anti-canon Souls-like lore with multiple factions and deities, a bestiary, a monster generator that creates over 500 unique foes. Let's check it out. Deload. A separate document? That's cheating, I think. Oh, but look at that art. Oh, yeah. Nice. Oh, low-level foes, mid-level foes. It's kind of like my bestiary, just saying. I should label it better. Like I did with my spells. Alright. Point taken, internet. I always check for zombies to see if they turn you into a zombie. Let's see. Zombie. Only one. It's too bad. 4 pages. Well, I feel like they cheated. They've got more than one document going on there, but that's okay. Skipping ahead, Fate and Fantasy. Here we go. Added 3rd page titled Game Mastery. What do we got? Humanoid, hybrid, magic, armor, battle axe, cutlass, dagger. Spells. Learn a spell from your character's archetype. I'm just rambling. I'm a bad podcaster. I'm going over these for me to learn, but also I encourage you to go and check these all out yourself. And that must have been the end of it. Okay, so when I go to itch.io, physical games here on the left, and we go to tags, micro, and does it give me a list? 642. 642 things for you to go and check out. This TPK, I remember checking that out a while ago. The flavor that these have, Stagwood, come on. Just there's gonna be something in here that scratches your itch. I'm going down the rabbit hole. I can't help it. This Rove, the art drew me in. Yeah, okay. You got me. I'll check you out. Stop yelling at me. Drive through RPG. Let's search. Oh, I do not like the new layout, but it's just because I'm not used to it, and I'm an old curmudgeon. If I search micro, what comes up? Oh, yeah, okay. I've never talked about this. This is, at least I don't think I have. this micro RPG. I checked this out a long time ago, and this had so much potential, but it was so confusing. It's labeled as like a rules light micro RPG. However, there's like basic, middle level, and advanced, all for this micro RPG system. Now, I think this one is like the version to get. The art on it is awesome. Okay, 80 pages. Does 80 scream micro to you? No, I hope not. This full color contains everything you need to play micro RPG. 80 pages? Come on now. However, if I can find it, there was like a 4 or 5 page rule set. I bought one. I thought I saw it. No, I think it's gone. It was like a skeleton wearing a crown. But they have tons of adventures. This All Hallows Eve, 42 pages. How can you label this as micro? It's been a while since I've checked out the rule set, and so maybe I'll have to do this. This guy's on Amazon, I know, Noah Patterson, and I think he has his own YouTube channel. So if this is something that scratches your itch, go for it. Micro. Oh, here we go. Castle of the Dead. Yeah. So when I first got into this, yeah, it was micro. It was 3 pages, and then he got success with it, and then he kind of like blew up. And again, more power to him. I'm jealous. I wish, I was out selling stuff on Amazon. But let me see if I can find micro RPG basic. I'm almost positive there's a free version. I think okay, basic edition. Yeah, $13. Let's go here. Here we go. Okay. Here it's perfect. Thank you, Amazon. You got it for me. Micro Chapbook RPG Basic Edition, 117 pages. Do not call that micro. However, then there is the Micro Chapbook RPG Deluxe Core Rulebook. Then there's the Deluxe Core Rulebook Updated Edition. Then we go over here. These the Advanced Character Guide with advanced supplements. So you are buying multiple books here. I don't know which one is. Welcome to the new edition. He got a little success, and then he kept adding and adding, but he didn't replace. He just kept adding. And to me, it's confusing. It's very confusing. If I would want 2 versions, Ultra Basic and Advanced. So can I go here? Deluxe Core Rulebook Updated, Deluxe Scenario, Core Rulebook, Deluxe Game Master's Guide, Basic Edition. Where's that? Game Starter Book? Is that like basic? Let me click this one. RPG-R. This complete starter includes all the rules you need to play. Micro RPG-R is a super simple and easy to learn micro RPG, also previously known as Micro Chapbook. Like, he changed the name of it. So confusing. Part of the... Okay, here we go. This is the one I was looking for. Micro... I'm so flustered. Starter, okay, adventures, supplements, solitaire. I don't even know. If I wanted, okay, I would imagine if I wanted like the most advanced version, it's got to be this one. Okay, well, took me to Amazon Clinic. Okay, weird. That was very weird. 8 ratings. I would love to see what they say. I hope they agree with me. If you want a rules light system for solo RPG gaming experience, it's a great place to delve into, especially if you don't have hours to sit down and knock out a session. Having bought the core rules and all the updates, these new updated rules at triple the price? No, not worth it. Lots of content for the price. I got the PDF first, and I later ordered a physical copy. I liked all the new monsters, mounts, towns. Great system, but the price is not right. It's really designed for simple dungeon crawling type adventures. Few races. 60 pages. So do I recommend it? Yes. At the price, no. Okay. Right. Just rambling. Sorry. Wasting your time. Okay. Wrap it all up. Do yourself a favor. Go play some Stagwood. Make it up. Right? Don't be beholden to the rules. If that's the way you want to play, that's great. I have enjoyed the freedom to interpret the rules. What did I say? Read the table, don't read the rules. Right? Last example, I've mentioned this before, played with my friends Joel and Grizz, and I think I'm going to use this in further stories. I gave Grizz this magic rock, and rules written, having never used it before, it gives his character whatever he wants to do, gives him 1 roll of advantage followed by 2 rolls of disadvantage. Well, in the moment I realized this is Grizz's first time playing. That wouldn't be fun if he is rolling at disadvantage that many times. So it was 1 advantage and 1 disadvantage. And the culminating story I'm telling here is he wanted to Misty Step Joel across the room, do something, and then Misty Step. And let me look it up right now. Verify this. 5e Misty Step. I believe it is self. Yes, target self. So he couldn't move Joel across the room with a Misty Step. Grizz explained to me what he wanted to do. Well thought out plan. First real time sitting down, partaking in a TTRPG. Gave him the full D&D 5th edition experience. D20. He used a level 5 or 6 pre-gen character, using all the stats, everything. And so Misty Step doesn't work this way. However, as he's explaining it, I say, that rock you've got, it's starting to give off a little vibe. It's vibrating. You get the sense that what you want to do, this rock is going to let you do it. And I don't remember if he was on the advantage turn or on the disadvantage turn for the rock. He powered by the apocalypse, the way I believe it works, he narrated exactly what he wanted to do, and we went for it. I said, sure, it happens, and it was like the highlight of the combat. He either defeated the boss there, or it led to the defeat of the boss, and yep, it was amazing. He doesn't need to know that, oh, you know what? Misty Step is only self, so everything you just explained to me, you can't do it. Oh, well, okay. Stop everything. Rethink of a plan. Stall the fun. Womp womp. Right? Let that be a lesson. Don't be beholden to the rules. Go check out these micro RPGs. Steal from them. Like I said, 2400. Let me find it again. Oh, so many Tinny Dungeon. Come on, I love it. Where'd you go? Where is the expansion? I must have closed out of it. Unbelievable. How unprofessional. The hit points, right? Just feel the table. Here we go. Feel the table. Don't read the rules. Keep being creative. See you in the next episode. Later.